Hi, my name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm a cavoodle puppy coach and breeder for Noodle Way and River City Puppies. As a coach, my philosophy is simple. A cavoodle should always complement your lifestyle, not complicate it. And this is the foundation to everything I teach. For almost the past decade, I have been working in the breeding, training, grooming, and veterinary sectors of the small animal industry. I've also been raising cavoodles for the past 16 years, so I have definitely learned a thing or two about the breed along the way. Now, this podcast is all about cavoodles. Raising cavoodles, training cavoodles, grooming cavoodles, breeding cavoodles, and how to shape the behavior of a cavoodle puppy. So, if you're a cavoodle parent or you are looking at adding a cavoodle to your family soon, then this podcast is for you. New episodes will be released each Tuesday morning, and you can follow me across all social media under the name @OodleWay for more tips and advice on cavoodles. Thanks for tuning in. Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Cavoodle Coach podcast. My name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm your host, and I am here with the very last episode for 2024, which is very exciting. I've really enjoyed doing this podcast this year so far. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about for the final episode of the year, I thought there's no better way to end this year of the podcast than to do an episode similar to the very first episode on this podcast, which is where I have asked all of my followers on Instagram to send me through any questions they have about their dogs, about business, about 2024 in general. And then I've brought my partner Zander on to come and ask me those questions, and then we're just going to have a nice little chat. So I'm very excited for this episode. Thank you for sticking with me this year. And if you have listened to more than one episode, I am so grateful for you and I hope you have loved the podcast. And if you have, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @OodleWay, and let me know you've loved it, because that would just be the best Christmas present ever. Okay. Without further ado, let's get into this episode. Zander, hello. Thanks for joining me again. I always feel so awkward doing this because it sounds like I need to introduce him like some sort of guest, but we live together. So really we're just sitting in our office and it's just really awkward. But hello, thank you for coming. We've got Joey in his arms and hopefully Joey is also a good boy for this episode.
Yes, let's get into it.
Wonderful. Okay, Zander, you're up first.
Okay.
What's the first question that I've been asked?
I think probably a good one to summarise the year, and maybe more of a highlight, but I guess, I don't know, what would you say has been the most memorable moment for you and also for the business Noodle Way this year? Like
separately, like my most memorable moment of the year?
Personal and also your business.
Okay, so for business, most memorable moment, I think the most memorable moment has been very recently because it's kind of shifted the way my business is going, and I'm very excited about it. And that was when we decided to keep Joey for a little puppy, and I used Joey to help me create my new program, which is the Cavoodle Puppy Planner. And what I did is the very first month that I had Joey, I had a very small, intimate group of families who joined me with their cavoodles who were all the same age, and I coached them through the first month with their puppies. And that was just such a new thing that I've never done before. I got to be a coach to a group of families, and we really just got to go on the same journey together. I had Joey, everything I was going through with Joey, they were going through, and it was so special, and it allowed me to create the new program, the Cavoodle Puppy Planner, and that now has brought in just so many more wonderful families that I'm able to coach, and it's just changed the business directions. That was a highlight because it was just a new thing I tried, and it was a little bit scary at first, but I really liked it.
Okay.
And then personally, well, my biggest highlight of the year, personally, I would say personally the biggest highlight has been, I just think it's just been, it was so nice to go through the year again and to raise some more litters of cavoodles together, because from a personal side of things, it's exciting to raise puppies, but then also it's very hard work. You are dedicating 24 hours a day to raising puppies for 8 to 10 weeks at a time. And it's a really proud moment for us to, successfully birth the litter and have the puppies arrive safely and then raise them and then send them off to their new homes. And then for us to have done that together, I think it's such a nice achievement for us. I think that was the best moment together. What do you think? Did you find that as rewarding as I do?
Yeah, I think because we've had so many puppies now together, and we always give them, away to their new families at 8 weeks, and never had the chance to continue on raising them after that initial 8 weeks. So, I mean, it's the first time I've raised a dog, for that long. But I guess for you, was there anything that you found challenging that you had, I guess not necessarily forgotten, but any unexpected or challenges after those 8 weeks, and this is what it's actually like to raise a puppy. It's not actually just these 8 weeks. Were there any obstacles
with Joey?
Yes.
I mean, I have raised a few dogs in my lifetime, but it was the last time I raised a dog. This is Nessie. Was my last dog that I raised. She's now 4.5. When I had her as a puppy, I didn't have this business and I was working in a grooming salon. And so a lot of the socializing, the desensitizing, the emotional regulation training, all of that just naturally happened through my work because I was able to take her with me every day. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy if you're going to work, you bring your puppy along, and that's giving them everything they need to really build the confidence and reduce her anxiety, which, as you all know, is so important for cavoodles. But this time around with Joey, I am working for myself. I've got this business and the business is at home, and it takes a lot more effort and time sacrifice to actually leave the house with him and do the training with him. And I wasn't surprised by it. I knew it was going to happen, but it doesn't mean that there isn't an adjustment period, and it doesn't mean that, you want the time that you sacrifice to your puppy is always for the greater good, and it does definitely pay off. But it can be hard off the back of raising a litter of puppies and not having a spare minute to yourself. So I think that was the hardest. It was, I think it was almost 9 weeks of raising a litter of puppies and then straight into raising Joey. So essentially it's just been, since Joey was born, which was early July, we are now in December, it has been just raising puppies and having that time sacrifice and not fully being able to relax and turn that, spend that time on myself and on our relationship. It's been very puppy focused. So I think that was the challenging aspect. Not that I didn't expect it. I knew it was going to happen, but it doesn't make it easy when you just do it for so much longer than what a normal family would do it because they get their puppy at 8 weeks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it with me. You know exactly what it's like. You're ready to have no more puppies too, to have a break.
Yeah.
But Joey is doing well, I will say that. He's currently severely teething. He is losing all of his canines, his back molars, and we're watching every day, these puppy teeth fall out and then the adult teeth come through, and it is such a painful, period of time for him, and it makes him more irritable. Fair enough. If I had a painful mouth, pain in my mouth constantly, I would be more irritable. Just careful with your microphone there. And then also it also just makes him very bitey. And so I'm looking forward to when he's finished teething, he'll be in less pain, obviously, he'll be more comfortable. And then we'll get to see the fruits of all the training because it'll all come together really beautifully. So I'm excited for that.
Okay. How, I guess, now that there's, no puppies to look after for right now, I guess, how have you found to spend that extra time? And I guess, what are your plans, for the year ahead?
For the business?
Yeah.
Well, I am taking a very big break from breeding, which I haven't yet announced officially, not on Instagram and not on the podcast, but I am taking a very, very big break. And when I say very big, I'm saying multiple years, at least, of a break from breeding to really focus on my Cavoodle puppy coaching that I offer, and primarily the new program that I have, which is the Cavoodle Puppy Planner. And I'm so excited because, I've had online courses for about a year and a half now, And before that, I was just doing one-on-one coaching with families. So I've always had some aspect of the coaching online aspect, but it's always very much broken up by 2 months on that, and then we've got 3 months of puppies, and then it's a month off, and then it's puppies again. And so it's been very much, my time has been split. And every time we have a litter of puppies, I always want to pour all of my effort into that. And then that means the other side of the business just, goes away for those couple of months. And when you're trying to build that side of the business, you need that consistency. So I'm really excited for this coming year, because I'm taking that big break from breeding. I actually get to focus on my coaching for the entire year, and I get to just see, find my feet in that aspect without having those litters. And I'm just so excited to, see where it takes me. And it's just going to be all about, growing that side of the business. I'm very excited.
Me too. I mean, you've had the, I guess, coaching out now for a few months. Just, I guess, talk us through how you found that. Obviously, it's a great substitute for puppy school and offers a lot of advantages. But I mean, talk us through, I guess, the success that you've had recently with that. And I know that you've already had some really good feedback for some families. But is there any sort of standout common, issues that families have experienced and successes that you've had, overcoming those challenges? Any sort of highlights from those families this, the end of this year?
Well, I will say I have, and this because I tell you every day, I'm like, oh my gosh, another family's joined. I have been very much blown away and surprised by the number of families who have been joining, which is the best thing possible. Just having these families put their trust in me to help them raise their puppies and to follow my program. And it's been really rewarding to then see those families move through the 4 weeks of the Cavoodle Puppy Planner. And each week for those 4 weeks, I get to join them in a weekly Q&A. And it's really nice to be able to jump on there and hear them express how much they're seeing the program benefit their life and their puppy's life, and how they're able to understand their puppy's behavior more. They're able to meet their puppy's needs more easily. The puppy's responding really well to the training, and being able to join the families in that Q&A and actually speak with them, face to face. I mean, it's through a screen, but face to face, and hear that's been so rewarding. And it's also equally rewarding, when they jump on there and they might say, oh, I'm just going to make up a name here. Max has been really trying to bite my ankles. What can we do to get around that? It's been really nice to hear those little struggles, and then be able to help them through that just in the Q&A. And also, the good thing is those struggles are universal. Like, every puppy is going to bite. Every puppy is going to try and test those boundaries. And it's just been nice to then hear them the following week and go, how's the biting of the ankles going? And they go, oh, completely improved. Your advice literally stopped it. So it's just been so nice. I honestly have been blown away, and I'm excited to continue coaching. I love the coaching aspect. I remember I was saying this. I don't remember where I was saying it. Maybe it was on the podcast, maybe it was I don't know. I was saying it, but I used to work at a vet clinic when I was younger. And my favorite part of the job used to be when families would come in and they're getting a new puppy, or they've just gotten their puppy, and they would ask, different pieces of advice on what to do. And my favorite aspect of the job at the clinic, I liked the hospital side of things, but I loved just talking to the families and helping them with their puppies. And so this coaching side that I've now introduced, it allows me to just do that all the time. And there's no better feeling than being able to just speak with a family, see the happiness their puppy brings them, and then make it easier for them to transition it into their lifestyle. It's just so rewarding. I don't even know if I answered your question. I just went off on a tangent.
We got there. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'd probably say, you watching you and grow the business, I guess through this slight transition into a new offering for cavoodle families and owners out there. I guess navigating your way through your own business, for anyone else, I guess along a similar journey and starting their own business or new venture. Has there been a moment, or have you learned something this year, which has taught you, I guess, to push through, or keep going, I guess, because you've faced so many challenges throughout the year. What's one piece of advice, I guess, you could offer anyone really, when you're launching a new product or starting a new business, something that you've learned along the way, whether that be over this year or the past few years, reflecting back, what's something,
Yeah. I mean, business is just such a journey. I personally, I started this business when I was, I initially, if you want to go by the official things, I bought the name of my original business, which was River City Puppies, which was the name of my breeding program, back when I was 21. So I started very young, and before that, I was working in the vet clinic, grooming salon. I was working as a puppy school trainer, but I hadn't worked any sort of 9 to 5 office job. So I don't have any of that experience with that. But I guess my advice for anyone wanting to start their business is it is going to be a long journey. The hardest part of running a business is always going to be knowing that the first years, the number of years can vary business to business, but typically they say 7 years in a business before you start really, getting it into a place where you get to see, good revenue, good profits, you can get your expenses down low, like all of that, 7 years to sort of set up the business. And it really is true. It takes multiple years to get to the point where you might even begin to start paying yourself a salary. So I think the hardest part of a business is obviously doing the work. And when you are running a business and you are an entrepreneur, my voice broke there. When you are, I'm not sad, I promise. I love my job. When you are an entrepreneur, you're doing a lot of hours. And sometimes there has been so many nights, and you've seen it, where I could be up until literally sunrise trying to get something organized for like some sort of launch or for families or something like that. So you do a lot of hours. And for those first years, it's a lot of hours with no reward. So it's work without pay, and that's really hard. So if you're starting a business, you have to be prepared for that. And you have to be able to back yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, when you don't see the money come in, and things get, stressful, if you've got bills to pay, if you don't believe yourself and you don't fully 1000% believe that you can change someone's life with whatever product or service you're offering, the business won't be able to progress. So if you're starting a business, you have to think to yourself, do I believe in myself? Do I believe that I could put myself in front of someone and convince them that they could benefit from using my product? If your answer is yes, that'll carry you through those years where it's really hard, and you're not getting money, and all of your money goes back into the business and you're not having any sort of profit. But if you don't back yourself and you don't fully believe it, you'll run into those years where you're not having any sort of income, and you're constantly working, and you're not getting to maybe go on holidays like friends are, or do the things that family are doing, or whatever it is. That's when you'll struggle and the business won't be able to continue progressing. So anyone starting a business, you just have to back yourself. Be prepared that your money has to be invested back to see it grow. And if you're prepared for that, then business is wonderful. And then I had one more piece of advice that I thought of. Again, and this is something that you hear a lot, and there's a reason why you hear this business advice a lot. It's because it's true 90% of the time, and that is the things that scare you are the things that move your business forward. So if you are doing something every day and you're very comfortable with it, and it's nothing that makes you nervous, you're not really challenging yourself, you're not going to really see that growth. It's going to be a bit stagnant. You might just plateau. But if you think about something and you go, oh, maybe I should try that. That might be good. Maybe my audience want that. Maybe I should try this type of, maybe I should start a podcast. Maybe I should start YouTube, or doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Those are the things that are going to push you to that next stage of business. It's like the last little hurdle you have to cross before the door opens. And that's something that I've seen recently. When I did my group coaching program back in September, when I was raising Joey, that was scary. I'd never done that before. But it's led to, this program now where I do, it's been so wonderful. I've been able to put a pause on breeding to focus on that. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't take that leap. So business is a journey, up and down journey, but it's fun. I really like it.
Any goals for next year?
Like business goals? Yes.
And personal.
And personal. Oh, okay. So business goals, my goals would be, I really want to obviously grow my audience so that I can reach more families to help with my cavoodle coaching. I'm wanting to do some partnerships with breeders so that they could maybe possibly put my program in their puppy pack so that families, can learn everything they need to know before they get their puppy, then jump straight into the program with the training. That would be a really big goal, to start those breeder partnerships happening. And then obviously, it's always been a dream of mine, and I think maybe next year I might have the time to maybe explore it now that I won't have any litters of puppies. But looking to maybe get onto some sort of media, TV, radio, something like that. That would be amazing and really exciting for me. So that would be a really big goal for 2025. And then personally, I would love to go on a holiday. I would really love a holiday. But the last holiday that I went, and this is reflective of business ownership, right? The last holiday that I went on, other than like a few days here and there, maybe down at the beach or something, the last proper holiday was 2019. I went to Greece with all of my family, and we're Greek, so we had like just a ridiculous amount of people go over. But that was 2019. That was the last holiday I had. So since I started the business, there's been no holiday.
Where would you like to go?
I would love Europe. Somewhere in Europe. I would love to go to Italy. You're Italian. I know you'd like to go. I'd love to go and eat some really nice pasta in Italy. That would be such a goal of mine.
We bring in Joey?
Giuseppe. Yes. I think he would like it. Nessie would probably like it better. Yeah. She'd be better on the plane than Joey.
She'd be a little well behaved.
Yeah, that would be a goal. Yeah, some sort of holiday. We'll see. Hopefully, we can manifest that into happening.
Any final tips for, I guess, these holidays? Any current cavoodle owners, soon to be cavoodle owners, things to look out for, things to be prepared for?
For the holidays, number one is your ticks. And it's so important. It's summer in Australia. This is when the paralysis ticks are out. They are a very big problem. They exist all over Australia, all along the coastline. Every major city has them. And for our tiny little baby cavoodles, to get a paralysis tick can cause death within a few days for our dogs. So you need to make sure you're on top of your parasite control. Do not miss it. Put it in your diary, and when that month comes around, give it to your puppy. It is so important. The vet clinics, you see so many emergency cases at this time of year of dogs being rushed in because they are paralyzed from these ticks. So that is a major concern. And anyone getting a puppy for the first time who isn't used to giving that monthly dosage, just keep it in your head. Do not forget that parasite control. And then also, another tip, I'm just looking at Joey right now and it's reminding me of what I have to do this week. Don't forget to groom your dogs. It's getting very, very hot here and dogs can get heat stroke. So don't leave them long. Don't leave them woolly. You need to shave their coats back, quite short for summer, so that they can actually be comfortable. This hair on them, it'd be like wearing a big winter coat. You wouldn't want to wear it in summer, so don't leave it for your little puppies. You can still keep their face a little bit longer, so it's got that really cute cavoodle teddy bear face. But their bodies, I always say, bring it back short for summer. Let's put their needs first, not just the cuteness factor of a fluffy puppy.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice. Cool. Any final words?
I don't think so. I just want to say that I know there are quite a few people who have been following my business for years now and have been following along. I recognize your name, especially on Instagram. I see your names a lot more. I can see them when you view my stories or you like my post or you send me a DM. And I wanted to say thank you for supporting me and following me for so long. I really appreciate it. Just by liking, commenting, DMing, that's supporting a small business. And without that support, small businesses don't survive. So thank you for spending the time to interact with me in whatever way you have. And for the families who have worked with me, who have trusted me with their puppies to help you raise them, I am so grateful. You're making all of my dreams come true. It's just a dream life being able to help you with your puppies. And I'm still always a little bit blown away that families will put their trust in me. It's a really big thing, and I don't take that for granted. So thank you for all of the support. I'm really excited for 2025, and I hope you all stick around for then. If you have listened to this podcast and if you have liked it, again, please just send me a DM. When I record these podcasts, I'm sure you're feeling this right now, Zander. It's like you're talking to no one. You're talking into a microphone. It's very hard to remember that there's people listening to this on the other end. So if you are listening to it, just let me know. Boost my confidence. It'll make me, do more podcast episodes. So thank you. Otherwise, I think that's it. Oh, can I ask you some questions?
Go for it.
Okay, now this is putting me on the spot. Okay, Zander. What am I going to ask? Okay, you're the partner of a business owner, and you're the partner of someone who's not only a business owner, but someone who has brought just dozens of puppies into your home. Big commitment. I'm glad you stuck around. What is it like living with me and these dogs?
Do you want the honest answer or the podcast friendly answer?
I want both.
Somewhere in between. What's it like? No, it's a very, very fulfilling, very challenging, but also very rewarding, for someone who's only lived with one dog for, until I met you, and then all of a sudden bringing, I think we had at one point 14 or 15 dogs at once. Living here, it was a big adjustment, but I know you've seen and you kind of known what you wanted to achieve out of this business and what you wanted to grow this business to, and I wouldn't open my doors or I think, when I saw, I guess, how much you love these animals and these cavoodles specifically, and I think, everyone sees what you put on Instagram and your podcast, but it's the late nights, it's kind of every minute of the day, the extra care, the above and beyond that you go for, and then you can see the results, that they bring. And I always think, well, imagine if I was one of these families getting a dog, I would 100% want you to have bred that dog, raised that dog, and then given that family the advice for the dog. So if I can be a small part in supporting that, I am more than happy to accommodate as many dogs as we need. But I've found it it's all been worth it to get where you are now. And this new program of a 28-day planner that you've got out now, I think is, it's taken some time, but you've really crafted the perfect program to set up your dog for success. We can see it with Joey. All the work that you've done, we can raise him to the best we can do, and it's it's paying dividends. He's doing what we want him to do. Obviously, you have a few challenges here and there, but that's like any dog. And, as long as you've got that support to revert back to, even I, when you're not home, I'll be jumping on, the planner and finding what I can do. But it's nice having that go-to support there, because, every challenge, every hurdle, obstacle that you can run into, you've thought of a way to overcome it. And then that extra support that you provide families, it's just that assurance, which I love, and I know I can see that the families are loving. So, I think it's in a good place now, and I'm excited to, to see how big, the business can grow, and, how many families that you can reach and help along the way. So
what you're saying is it's been worth it.
It's been worth it. That was a long
and that you
answer.
like living with me
and
the dogs.
Those challenges, I will leave up to everyone's imagination. But
lots of vomiting in places you don't want them to vomit, and poo.
Every bodily fluid of the dog has been on almost every part of my body, unfortunately. But no, wouldn't change it for the world. So
that's
very
good.
happy.
And what's your goal for 2025?
My goal for 2025. Well, the goal is to continue with Joey, right? Like, and for Joey specifically, it's to, keep going. It doesn't just stop after these 28 days. Obviously now it's been a few months, but it's to really kind of shape and mold his behavior and demeanor into a nice, friendly dog. We always talk about how wonderful Nessie is and how perfect she is.
Perfect. So perfect.
And he's he's almost there. But he's he's still young, and we just need to help him grow and look after him well.
And what about personally? What you got? Can't just be Joey. We'll both run ourselves into the ground if it's just about these little doggies.
I would love to go. I'm going to go very similar to you. Go on a holiday. Spend about a month in Europe. Maybe introduce the wonderful world of cavoodles over there, and maybe try and grow the business internationally. And that'd be fun. But yeah, excited for the year ahead. It's kind of nice not knowing exactly what's planned ahead, but just adapting and going day by day. And
will you come on the podcast more with me?
We'll see how it goes.
It gets so lonely sometimes. That's one of the other challenges of being a small business owner. When it's just you, it gets lonely. This is such a nice luxury right now to have someone to speak to. This never happens.
Yeah,
well, I feel like that we should wrap it up there. So thank you for answering those in the moment questions. Always dedicating time out of your weekend. This is recording on a Sunday afternoon, by the way. Zander's always giving up his time for me and my business. I'm very lucky, aren't we, Joey? So yes, thank you everyone for joining me this year for the Cavoodle Coach podcast. I have really loved it. This is my favorite form of any sort of social media to do. I really enjoy it. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for all of your reviews and all of your ratings. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to jump back into this next year. We are going to take a couple of weeks off over the Christmas break, but we'll be back for the podcast on the week of the 6th of January. And Joey will be going in for his de-sexing on the 7th, and Nessie's getting a dental clean. So maybe I'll chat about that when we come back. But yes, the 6th of January, that week, we'll be back on the podcast. I'm excited. I hope everyone has a really wonderful Christmas, a exciting New Year, and a really great break. Everyone deserves it. It's the end of the year. Have lots of chocolate, open lots of presents, hug everyone you love, and just spend some time for yourself. I think that's really important at this time of year. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. And I will see you, or I'll speak to you in just a couple of short weeks. Bye.
See ya.